Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Robo. Welcome back to our rather interesting looking colony here. You can see that we released AJ from the crypto sleep casket that we left her in for a while. And now it seems that, well, she actually doesn't have crypto sleep sickness. That's great. But they are sleeping outside in the rain for some reason when there's this nice fire retardant stuff, foam crap on the floor everywhere. It's kind of a weird scenario, right? Anyways, let's get right into the topic here. This will actually be the last video of the starter tutorial series. It's going to be a 6-parter total. Finally found out the number. Didn't really know how many videos it would take to describe all of these functions in the game. Of course, this is just a brief overview. So, last time we went over basically these 4 tabs here. Architect took a whole 20 minutes on its own. These 4 took about another 15-20 minutes, and these will hopefully take about maybe 5 or 10 actually. So the first one we have here is the factions, and this isn't really too pertinent. It'll kind of is. You're always going to start with enemies every single time, but the important thing to see is the hostile little indicator here, and this means that they will try to raid you. These are going to be the 2 enemies basically. You can see here that got some pirates. They don't do anything. Not really that great of information in here. Just kind of tells you that they carry some gunpowder weapons. They may have advanced energy weapons, etc. But the important thing to keep in mind is the relations tab here will basically allow you in later stages of the game when you have a comm center kind of deal to radio in reinforcements if you need them. So you can actually spend silver as well to increase this number, this goodwill. So don't really need to worry about that too much. Now the next one here is the world. This is again kind of pointless as well. It just shows you where you're at basically. It shows you can actually see other factions. I'm thinking this is going to play into a bigger role later game. I really hope that you're going to be able to move, and you'll be able to select like a place you want to migrate to, and you may have to, I don't know, construct vehicles. I want something more with this. This gives me a lot of hope. Next one here is the history. Not much on here. Basically just shows your wealth total. Something to keep in mind here is the storyteller actually uses this metric to throw higher threat things at you. So the more wealth you accumulate, the more intense threats. Of course, they are on their own time scale. They kind of almost looks like this. It just keeps going up in difficulty. So not much here. You can just kind of show how everything's doing. This would be great if you could look at food, but right now you just like colonist mood, population. The mood's pretty good. I use this one a lot. This kind of just gives you a total idea of their mood, percentage-wise. So anything above 70 is great. Usually keep it at 100 if you're running an awesome colony, but not in the start. Alright, the next one's here is the stats tab. We can see our total play time, which I always love looking at. Different storyteller, difficulty, again our wealth, the 3 items, buildings, and the total. We can also see the threats that have been thrown at us, colonists we've launched, colonists we've lost, and damage taken. So not really that important. But the big one here that's going to take up the remainder of the time is the research. It is incredibly important. First I'm going to start out with the buildings that you need. So if now cheater mode is on. Go into production, the first you're going to have access to is, actually we have one right here, and it's the simple research bench. I do not believe the material matters what you make it out of, so you can make it out of like anything from wood to steel. You can make a gold one if you want to, apparently. Wow, that's a lot of gold. But this is going to get you started. So if we go back to the research here. Anyways, what you'll see at the first of the game is it's going to be grayed out, kind of like this, because you don't have a research bench. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to build this like any production building down here. So if we build our awesome jade research bench, go into the work tab and make sure you have someone assigned. So our scientist is probably going to be good at doing science stuff. Actually 13 out of 20, which is going to affect the speed. We'll have him do some research after he wakes up here. Some good ones to get. Stone cutting's real great. You can get some materials out of these stone blocks, which are kind of scattered around the map. So like these right here, kind of went into detail on my architect tutorial about that. Another great one to get is hydroponics here. This is going to allow you to grow things indoors. As long as you have, for example, a heater here to regulate the temperature in winter, and also a sun lamp, which we can see we have one right here. That's going to allow you to grow the crops indoors. Or you can just kind of use a sun lamp and box off some area, fertile land, kind of like what we see around here. You can also see down here that some of these are grayed out, and some of these are because of the prerequisites. So for example, the electric cremation needs electric smelting. So if we go ahead and cheat that real quick, you can see that we now have the prereq for that, and we can research it if we really want to. Some of these also require the high-tech research bench, which is just the next option here. It doesn't really cost that much, to be honest. So we go back into research here. You can see that we now have access to the hospital bed because we have the research bench. And the last one we can see here, prereq-wise, is the multi-analyzer, which is actually not under this menu. This is actually under the miscellaneous. So you can see that little line being drawn. As long as the line's connecting, you'll be able to access that. If we go back into here, you can see that we now have that multi-analyzer. Of course, it says it's inactive because we don't have power to it, but we'll ignore that for now. Something else to keep in mind here is if you look under here, you can see the project base cost becomes blank because of your tech level. Tech level is basically like an era. Right now, I believe we're in industrial. If you start out as a tribe, you actually start in medieval. So you'll get a penalized, I think it gets doubled. So this would be a little bit more. This would be like 2,000, or sorry, 3,000 if I could do math, because it's industrial tech level compared to it. I think it goes from, let's see, Neolithic, then it's medieval, then industrial. I think we have spacer. That should be the last one there. So we can just see here the base cost from 2,500 becomes 5,000 because of my tech level. So this will gradually go up as you research more things, and it'll reduce it. It's kind of another thing to keep in mind there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this last tutorial, and I hope you've enjoyed the series in a total. I hope it's been informative. I've also got a Steam guide up, which I'm going to keep adding remarks to. And also keep an eye on for some series coming out here on my channel, which is basically going to start, it's going to be probably like a 5-part video series, about 20 minutes each or so, that's going to walk you through the start of a game on this setting. I'm not going to do this colony because I've already jacked with it enough. I've got crypto sleep caskets, stinking comms console, stuff everywhere. So of course we're just going to blow things up. Alright, looks like everyone is dead or gone. The story is over. Leave a comment, any questions you have. Go ahead and subscribe if you feel so inclined to. I'm not going to push it. It's about the second time I've said it in this series, so I'll intend to. And again, I've left a link in the description below for a Steam Workshop map that kind of gets you a little easier off if you're having trouble with the default settings of Crash Landed here. And of course, that's the Rimworld Expedition. As you can see, it starts with a lot of stuff, so of course the description has the URL for that. My name's been Robo, and I'll catch you guys in another video.